To start, the movie Contagion was better than I expected. It shows a fairly realistic, or at least feels realistic, way that a pandemic would come about. It flits between many different points of view through the whole movie. And while it's a little bit confusing to try to figure out what is what in the beginning, eventually you get it. It makes sense. At the very beginning, it starts with showing the patient zero, the woman from Minnesota, and all the people that she infected at the casino that was there. I really liked the way that they set up the way the disease transmits. It would show someone touching a doorknob or something, and they'd start with showing their face, them coughing and obviously sick, and then they'd pan down to their body and show where their hand's touching a pole on a bus or a doorknob or a glass. And then the hand would pull away, and then all you see was the doorknob or the glass or whatever it was. It was very interesting how they did it. Most of the time it seemed they were shooting from a low angle up, and even the music in the background was made to have the action seem intimidating. And that was very interesting. And I really liked the way they did it, just to show the danger that this virus posed. And I also really liked the lighting of the film. I noticed especially later on in the film when the lighting was dimmer and it was colored with blue. That was a sign that we were dealing with the illness, virus, disease, I forget what it was. And I liked a way to show like a visual. And there was a difference between when the light was tinted blue, which is with the disease or the chaos around the disease, and then when the light shifted to a warmer yellow. That's usually when we were with the health officials trying to figure out the disease and how to cure it. Or even rare moments when we were with the father and daughter in their home when they were safe. But most of the time they were in blue since they were in the quarantine area. And at the end, the last scene I liked with the lighting is when they finally did get the vaccine through, and the doctor vaccinated herself with the experimental vaccine and then immediately went to go see her father to test it. And there, instead of the light being dim and blue, it was yellow, showing that this was safe, that the vaccine worked, that she's not going to die, which I thought was very interesting. The doctors, they were always shown very professionally. They were wearing suits or lab coats or other kinds of apparel that would make them seem quote unquote smart. The only other clothes that they would wear would be the big hazmat suits, which you'd expect. And that was contrasted with, I feel, the quote unquote blogger that was there. He was mostly just shown in normal clothes, even when comparing with other people who was just wearing normal clothes. The only time I remember him being in a suit was when he was in the interview. I also enjoyed the editing when it was cutting between the different points of view, especially in the beginning. I thought that was interesting. It made it so you could tell where you were at a given point of time, and that whenever there was a time skip from one day to another, you'd see in big red letters at the bottom of the screen a day, like day 1 or day 2 or so on. And also with the passage of time, the thing that I really did like about the film was that the film started on day 2 and you don't get to see day 1 until the end. I thought that was a very interesting touch, that it allowed the viewer some closure so they know how did this all start in the first place. Overall, I thought the film Contagion was a good movie that may be a little bit too close to comfort for real life, what we're going through right now. And yeah, I liked the movie.